Most of us have come across street performers at some point and suddenly got a free ticket to a pretty incredible show. Being a street performer is no less difficult than any other job, and some performers even go way above and beyond, and sometimes even risk their lives to obtain the best possible reactions from onlookers. While not everyone gets to physically see these amazing performers, today we're going to take a look at some of the most incredible street performers on the planet. So just sit back and get ready for one of the greatest shows you've ever seen. Ready? Let's get it on! Contact juggling. Juggling in and of itself is a pretty impressive feat that most people are totally incapable of doing without embarrassing themselves. However, when most of us give juggling a go, we typically try with soft sports equipment like tennis or racquetballs. While regular jugglers are wildly skilled and impressive, people like Luis Reyes have taken the daring stunt and pushed it to an art form with the mesmerizing craft of crystal ball juggling. As Luis's hands move fluidly and precisely, the transparent glass ball seems to never move an inch, floating almost supernaturally in the same spot like some type of mystical gyroscope. And sure, some people might say that working with just one ball isn't really juggling, but once they see these street performers in action, I'm positive their tone will change. Whoa! Damn! Either way, if that's not enough for you, check out these hypnotic crystal ball jugglers who handle up to 6 balls at a time. The way they move incorporates their entire bodies, making the ghostly orb add to the mesmerizing dance they make look so effortless. I don't know about you, but these guys would definitely get $1 from me. Jesse Wellens. The popular YouTuber Jesse Wellens is widely known for his incredible cinematography skills, as well as his unique street performances, which he routinely seems to do every year now. Jesse takes to the streets to perform some very well-timed and rigorously planned-out stunts. Some of his most interesting ideas include dressing up as Aladdin and taking a magic carpet ride through the unsuspecting streets of New York City, riding a Back to the Future-inspired hoverboard alongside a custom, movie-accurate DeLorean, and even painting himself like the Silver Surfer, seemingly surfing around New York City identical to the Marvel character himself, garnering the attention of literally everyone around him. One thing I'm sure of is that Jesse Wellens definitely knows how to put on an awesome street show. Peter Spatina. When someone says that they can use dishware as a musical instrument, you usually imagine many pots and plates when you cook.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
But what almost definitely doesn't come to mind is a man with a glass harp consisting of 33 glasses. Meet Peter Spatina, the man who finds music in the mundane. Peter uses glasses filled with different amounts of water to produce a certain note. It might sound a bit outrageous, but take a listen for yourself. The masterfully played music alone would be enough to turn most people's heads, but once they see the unique instrument the sounds are coming from, people can't help but flock around and feel like they're being treated to the show of a lifetime. Just goes to show that a little creativity and a whole lot of practice can go a very long way. Troy James. Let's hope you're feeling limber for this next incredible performer, because just looking at Troy James perform might give some people a strange sensation in their bones. The Canadian man has made a living as a contortionist of unmatched flexibility, showing off his rare gift in movies as well as talent shows. What started as a means of him getting bullied in school is now a unique way of making a living, and a good one at that. Somehow, Troy is able to twist his body in ways that would definitely break any normal person, comfortably walking in a backbends as easily as most people might take a stroll in the park. He clearly enjoys taking his act to the public, with reactions to him ranging from amazement to calls for a priest. Speaking of which, the street isn't the only place Troy's unique talents have come in handy. Besides taking his contortions trick to America's Got Talent, the acrobatic marvel makes most of his money playing demons and possessed people in movies and TV shows. And let's be honest, he was basically born to fill those roles. Floating Man. While levitation might just seem like a wishful daydream, some unbelievable performers have by some seemingly magical means made it a reality. Floating street performers have little trouble attracting fascinated crowds, even asking people to pass their hands above and below them to prove that there's no funny business at hand. These performers have found a way to look as though they're actually levitating or flying. While with some critical thinking we can figure out some of the lower-end parlor trick versions of flight, there are individuals who genuinely astound crowds with feats so close to flight that it makes you think your mind is playing tricks on you. The feat is so fantastical that when looking at it, your mind tries to add up how it could be possible. Since it basically defies any understanding of physics a reasonable person has. Whatever their secrets are, for those just watching the show, it might as well be actual magic, but it's just as mesmerizing. Couch surfing. As far as actually attracting a crowd goes, whether it be in person or online, usually the weirder and more novel an idea is, the more likely people are to pay attention. That's sort of what Ed China does with his wild, drivable couch. When most people think of a couch potato, they think of someone sitting at home all day doing nothing. But this wild engineer has taken that term and flipped it entirely on its head. Complete with a tray for snacks instead of a steering wheel, lighting fixtures, and potted plants, the wacky design of this drivable piece of furniture is meant to look like a living room on the go, and I really mean go. The engine allows the open-air seat to go up to 90 miles an hour, requiring the same kinds of precautions and protections a motorcyclist has to take. The interesting thing about this driving couch is that anytime Ed takes it out to the street, even if he's just going out to the store, it becomes a major performance for any pedestrians who happen to see a whole living room zoom past them, and that makes him a very literal street performer. John Farnworth. John Farnworth is a man who has lived his life performing in the most extreme ways imaginable. He's made a name for himself as a football freestyler, and following up on astounding onlookers on the street for so long, he decided to officially claim his stake as one of the best street performers in the world. I say officially because John's taken the act he once simply did on the street to the Guinness Book of World Records and set quite a few different soccer freestyling records. Through 10 years of non-stop practice and public displays, John's precision and confidence with a football makes it seem almost like the ball is just another part of his body when he performs tricks with it. John's also perfected his focus, challenging himself to perform his wild freestyle tricks in all kinds of dangerous and unforgiving environments. While holding world records of any kind is always impressive, John even stands out among his fellow record holders with his insane stunts, such as setting the record for the longest continuous soccer ball juggling record in the Sahara Desert. He's also managed to juggle seated at 600 feet in the air, so clearly neither heat nor heights bother him. Apparently, however, that wasn't enough for him to prove his point, as he also holds the record for juggling a ball while balancing on a slack line on fire.
My question is, what the hell?
Truly something you've got to see to believe. Piano juggler. Jugglers are some of the common street performers around, so considering all that, Daniel Menendez must have put in double the amount of work to pull off his seemingly impossible musical juggling act. Armed with a piano mat and a dozen rubber balls, Daniel is able to juggle in such a way that he can accurately use the balls to perfectly play songs on the tiny piano mat. But pretty much anyone will be amazed if they see and hear this musical juggler's incredible performance. I wonder if he takes requests. Street juggling. Juggling, as we've stated, is definitely a hard skill to learn and even harder to master, but it takes some deep innate talent and creativity to turn this already incredible craft up to the next level. Above all else, juggling takes unbroken focus and concentration, so introducing an unexpected element will lead most jugglers to fail and end up embarrassed. Still, this Brazilian street performer makes it his profession to show off his unshakable concentration and nerves of steel by taking his act to the street. No, I mean the literal street. Equipped with nearly a dozen tennis balls and some serious confidence, this man performs his act in the middle of traffic and actually pulls it off. Let's just hope that everyone's in a good mood and in no particular rush. Cut in half. Andy Gross has a pretty appropriate name. The street magician is famous for pulling off stunts that terrify and shock unsuspecting passerby, oftentimes ones that are just trying to be really good people. His most famous, and admittedly most hilarious performance is known as the cut in half trick, where he somehow floats his torso in midair and makes it look like his body was cut clean in half. He sets up hidden cameras and creates scenes like fake car accidents, and then, well, I'll let the footage speak for itself. You've gotta admit, aside from being hilarious, that's a really impressive trick. I mean, I've been watching this over and over and I still can't figure out how he does it. I guess a magician never reveals his secrets, but I'm glad he at least reveals his footage, because the reactions he gets are absolutely priceless.
Hey, you still there? Well, since you made it this far, here are all the shoutouts we promised everyone that commented on our previous video. If you want to be shouted out in our next upcoming video as well as the ones prior, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down below saying, "Pick me." Once you're at it, you might as well leave a like too.
Which was the best performance in your opinion? Did we miss out on any great street performers? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.